We're talking about labels, and not just the label. We're going to talk a little bit about in-mold labels, IML. I'm standing here with Dirk. Hi, Dirk.
Hello. Hi.
So, Treofan, tell us a little bit about what you do and what in-mold label actually does for the label industry.
Yeah. So, Treofan, we are part of the Jindal group. Jindal is one of the main producers, or the main producer of biaxially oriented polypropylene films. The complete company has a nameplate capacity of around 700,000 tons of BOPP films, also BOPE and polyester films on 7 different facilities all over the world. Within the Treofan, back in the 1990s, we introduced the IML, the injection molded label decoration, into the market, together with some partners at this time, with some brand owners, with some printing companies. And then this developed over the years. So the in-mold technology in general is you have a filmic substrate, you print on it, you die cut a label out of it, and then you place it into a mold where you inject the polymer, and then you end up with a directly decorated container in one process. So it makes it easier than in the past you had a direct print, for example.
So you mold it into the finished product.
So it's a solid bonding between the container material and the label. So you cannot separate it anymore, like with a self-adhesive label or wraparound label.
Exactly. So as you were saying, and we were talking a little bit earlier, in the early days of in-mold label, me being from Belgium, one of the pioneers was Verstraeten.
Yep. Still is.
Still is, absolutely a big name in the industry for in-mold labels, for that matter. So what would you say has changed from the early days up until now? Because before it was mainly done in offset, if I'm not mistaken. Now I hear it's also possible to do with digital printing techniques.
Yes.
So
yes.
What does it change? Is because the substrates, do they physically have to be adapted to accommodate digital printing?
No. So we have our products, they are all the same for each customer, for each print technology. As you correctly said, the majority of the in-mold labels are still printed in sheet-fed offset process, but there is also some reel-to-reel printing, and since a few years we are also looking into this digital printing now. There is some adaptations that need to be done. So in general, with the Xicon process, with the Tritoner process, you can print each of our film types, but it's recommended to also apply a primer, because depending on the application, it can be that under some circumstances, some environmental conditions, the ink can go off afterwards. So therefore it's recommended to use a primer up first. But beside of this, you can take the film, print it on a UV offset press, on a UV conventional offset press, on a digital press, on a rotogravure press. It's all the same substrate.
Right. So, and that priming probably is because the characteristics of the in-mold process and the heat, and probably that comes on top of that.
Yeah, and then later on, if you have, for example, a margarine or something like this, or ice cream that's refrigerated, and it's heating, cooling, you have some condensation, and this can then have an effect. But this we learned quite in the beginning, so we are in partnership with Xicon since many years, so that's what we really learned in the beginning, and since then it's used with the primer up front normally.
Right. Something that was intriguing me actually, if I look at some of the samples you showcase here, everybody knows the brand, you know, it's in-mold label, and something in my mind said, well, okay, this is it's not a short run, you know, it's a big brand, and they probably make hundreds of thousands or more.
Millions
in one go. So you know, the digital printing techniques are usually going to shorter runs, right?
Yeah,
so isn't that a little bit contradictory with a long run product, or is it to do like versioning or iterations of brand?
Correct. That's for example, if you want to, like promotions, small runs, smaller customers, not the big brand owners, then this really comes into effect that you can just print one label, or you can print each label different. Right. I mean, there is a lot of different things, but really for this kind of brands, this is the big runners, as you just said. This is really where you have days and days running one product. But if a customer wants to specialize on something or to focus on something, then the digital is definitely a quite good solution for this.
Okay, and all the different scope, you have a solution for in-mold labels at Treofan Jindal.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.